Hello everyone, my name is Kurazar, and welcome back to Wildmender. So, as promised, in between episodes I spent, probably about an hour, and yes, it took an hour to build all of this, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I don't like how the walls kind of get lumpy here and there, but there's kind of only so much you can do about that. Now, I do want to warn everyone that this is going to be the final episode of the Wildmender demo. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is that we are pretty much at the end of the content the game has to offer. We are basically going to be dealing with wraith attacks forever and sandstorms forever, and that's because we can't get to the things in the game that... Hello, Oak Tree. Yeah, we can't not get to the things in the game that will let us mitigate and remove those threats. That's... yeah, no. Oh, man. How did I miss that? Anyway, sorry about that. And the other reason is that we are running at 30-ish frames per second. It's very unstable. It often drops down to like 20, 25. And that's because apparently we should not have unblocked the springs. Really? We should not have unlocked the springs over at the Dahlia Gate. Thank you for the commentary. Apparently the game keeps everything loaded in at all times, at least in the demo, and that makes the game get really slow when you have lots of things loaded. Like that guy over there. We can see him glowing from here. Wow. But yes, so today is going to be the last episode, and I think it's going to be an episode kind of about talking about the game rather than doing anything, so it might be a bit short. But before that, I did want to show you a quick tour of our little garden here. So I was able to get these stone paths looking good under here. I think that was in the last episode. I ended up not planting anything around here yet because I wanted to... well, I kind of wanted to leave things open and maybe come in with some lilies later, but I didn't have enough, and I was like, well, let's get the big things in. So I spent a while moving these over and fighting with getting them to sit on the paths, and that's going to be my first criticism slash suggestion to the developers. I think that you need to be able to put some things down on paths after they're down, and paths need to sort of be classified as like a floor, so that way you can sort of slide them under existing structures if need be. Like, I can put them under a wall just fine, but if I try to drop a path down here, it gets kind of caught up on the geometry of the baskets, and I can't place it unless I put it between the baskets, but then you end up with, you know, things off-center and all that stuff, so not a fan. But anyway, in addition to getting all of that done, I also dropped our last wellstone here. It was originally up here, right behind the statue, but it kind of flooded the entire area, so, yep, didn't do that. And I just dug a little channel straight down here, and this is now... whoa, this is definitely filling up this little basin down here, so, yeah, interesting. Fun times. A whole bunch of... sunburst just going everywhere. So, yeah, that is kind of the extent of our garden. I did put a pair of sigils. We have a root sigil there to help water everything, and we have, and we have a sun sigil down there to help keep things protected from the sandstorms. And I do like how that looks. That's pretty cool, actually. And I wish I could sort of... it's actually my next criticism, actually. I think the next thing I want to say is that there should be some kind of option for snapping. Kind of like if you've played Ark Survival Evolved, then you'll know what I'm talking about, but maybe less janky. But something to sort of say, hey, I want to connect these as sort of a unit, and just have it be a bit easier to build structures at different angles without making them look really messy like this is. I mean, this is not... oops. Let's turn you back on. This is supposed to be sort of a circle, and I was able to get it around the statue mostly, but the rest of it is kind of lumpy. And it's just really hard to tell while you're building, you know, how things are going to turn out. So I would like to see some kind of snapping or other sort of build helper put in place. And I think the other odds and ends are mostly sort of bug fixes that I kind of think maybe don't need to be mentioned, but just in case they're lost in between development cycles. I think one of the problems I have is with the spreading of seeds. Because we have all of these, what are they, the sunburst, and they're great, kind of, but they do tend to just spread everywhere, and while that's awesome for helping me spread the meadow biome, they kind of get in the way of each other. Like, I kind of think they maybe shouldn't take root unless they're like a certain distance away from another shrub, and they also probably shouldn't take root at funny angles or in water. I mean, I would expect this thing to be drowning, but no, it loves it here. But if this were dune grass, it would be dying. And then I think one of the other odds and ends I'd like to see sort of patched up would be the tree roots, which tend to just sort of do whatever they want. I mean, they go everywhere, and especially if you're trying to build near them or put anything near them, they can really get in the way. I mean, this tree over here is kind of... what the heck? There's 2 new trees. Alright. I did not realize that. Should I plant this one? I have no idea. But yeah, these tree roots just kind of go everywhere, and it's kind of wrecked my path here. And it kind of did that at some point after it matured. Kind of weird. So, like, when it was growing, it was actually kind of fitting in here. And then now that it's matured, all of a sudden, blam, and I get these weird roots sticking up here, and my path is kind of busted, which made moving things actually kind of difficult. So yeah, that would be sort of the short list of fixes I'd like to see. I wonder if I can... Ah, good. Sorry, oak tree, you're a dead boy. You do not belong here. Not in the least. On the upshot, plenty of wood. And that guy. I mean, look at these roots. They just go everywhere. So, yeah. So that's sort of my criticism / improvements I want to see in the game, primarily. I'm otherwise very happy with the game and the direction it's going. I mean, sure, there are some quirks and some oversights, and there are some things that I've already seen that were changed in the alpha and that either may be changed again or may be included in later changes. For one being this compost bin where you have to, like, mix a bunch of stuff. In the alpha, it was much easier to just sort of drop things in here, walk away, and come back and get some compost. So that's kind of why I didn't tinker with it in this playthrough. But yes, kind of everything else I'm really happy with. I'm really enjoying the pace of combat. The exploration is fun. I would like to have either a better inventory system or a larger one or something that helps sort of with the clutter, because it is a very crunchy inventory, as in very small, and it can be difficult to manage everything when you have 10 different kinds of seeds going on. Oh boy. Now that's frame rate. That is PlayStation 1 era frame rate right there. Ow. Did you have to? Did you really have to? Yes, I like the combat, I like the creatures, I'm really enjoying the plants. I do wish you could... I guess here's another sort of criticism / something to be looked at later, would be... I want to be able to plant sort of any of the cultivars in any biome, because I was trying to get some of the desert amaranth. I'm not really sure why, but I wanted some. And when you plant them in the meadow, they just become meadow amaranth. And the same with the yellow version of the sunburst that aren't wild. If you try to plant those in a meadow, they become pink, or purple, or whatever this color is. Pinkerple. I do think I want to see some more uses for these guys. I mean, you can make them follow you, but I'm not quite sure what that purpose is. You also have to entice them every time, which I guess isn't a big ask. I mean, it's, here, have an acorn. Come with me. So, like, we can go on an adventure together, sure. That's neat. But I'm not really sure what this gets you. And maybe being inside their orb does something that I'm not aware of, and if it does, if someone could correct me in the comments and tell me that I'm doing this wrong, then please do so. You. Yeah, it is kind of neat to have a companion, but if it doesn't have a purpose, I like to see it have one. Like, maybe they can gather things for you, or maybe they're a secondary inventory, or maybe they, I don't know, maybe they help fight the wraiths and other bad guys. That could be neat, although these guys are kind of too peaceful looking for that. The pangolins could also use some love, I think. I did tinker with them a bit more in the alpha when I was playing that. Whoops, oh, there go a couple of my amaranth over here. I think you spread into the water. That's your own fault. But yeah, I want to see more to do with the pangolins. Like, you can have them sort of dig around for you, and they'll bring up resources at the cost of other resources. But I wasn't really impressed with sort of the interaction in terms of the depth of it. I mean, utility-wise, it was fine. But yes, so we sort of know what things need to be done. I did enjoy how we level up, having talked to the spirits and sort of regain memories and rebuilding, you know, the glories of the past. I like that as a mechanic for leveling up. No. There we go. Some glowy flowers here. So I enjoyed the level up process. I enjoyed the exploration process. I really like the sort of floaty flight, and I have heard tell that someone has been snooping through the files and possibly found some other methods of flight that get upgraded later, so that will be interesting to see if that's a thing. It may not make it into the final game, but if not, this is pretty cool. I would like to see some more long duration flight, like if you're going from one corner of the map to the other, either a means of increasing your mana pool more, or some means of faster flight that is just sort of meant for long distances and isn't particularly, maybe, accurate, is the word I'm looking for. I would like to see a way to more rapidly get sandstone, and maybe wood. Like, if there's a means of farming this that I'm not aware of, aside from planting trees and chopping them down, that's kind of slow. And when I was building these paths, I mean, each of these paths costs 2 wood, and then if I'm upgrading it to stone, that's 3 sandstone. So this right here was 12 sandstone. And that's honestly a lot. Like, that should maybe be 1 sandstone for the rate at which you actually get sandstone. The walls are actually more economical. They were 1 sandstone to build the base, and then, well, 4 wood to build the rest of the wall, but there you have it. So, should you get this game? I think if you enjoy the survival aspect and the sort of expanding your garden aspect, and if you're okay with dealing with some weirdness in the bugs and the sort of stranger interactions in the demo, then go check out the demo. I honestly encourage it. It's really fun. I had a lot of fun playing the demo so far, and I had a blast in the alpha too, and I'm sorry I didn't cover the alpha, but it just didn't work out timing-wise, so the alpha sort of has to be in the background. And I can talk about it, but I can't really show you much. And Vidius needs some dialogue, hey buddy. But yeah, so I would definitely go and check this out on the official Wildmender Discord, and I would also recommend you go and wishlist it if this looks like the kind of game that you'd be interested in. Especially if they sort of, you know, get the performance and the kind of quirks ironed out. I think this will be a blast to play, and I may feature it again on the channel, either when the game is in beta, if they do a beta, or when it is fully released. But I think that's going to about cover it for now. I've really had a lot of fun and a blast talking with you guys, and I hope you'll stick around for what comes next on the channel. If you're not aware, I currently have actually, at the time of this recording, I think it's still live, but by the time this goes live, there will be the next thing on the channel. But look forward to new content. I don't know what it is yet. And it's going to be up to you to decide, because my patrons are voting on the first round of things to be featured on the channel, and then the top 3 choices there will go to a general vote on YouTube. And that may have already happened by the time this episode airs, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed your time here in Wildmender, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing it again. As always, my name has been Kurazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.